Hey, guys, this is your girl, Nicole. I'm so glad to be with you guys today. We have a treat. Part of that reason we have a treat today is because I have a sweet tooth. Where is my sweet tooth lovers out there? Today, we are going to be making something amazing, an oldie but a goodie. We're going to be making a vanilla crumb cake. It's going to be really, really good. So you will need for this, I'll put a lot of the ingredients and the recipe within the comment section so you don't have to worry about that. But basically, your flour, your baking soda, you're going to need sugar, you're going to need some cinnamon, some brown sugar, some vanilla, some salt, okay? You're going to also need some salt, and I knew I forgot something. I had forgot to pull down my baking powder. All right, and then you're going to need some butter. So we're not going to be cooking with oil today. We're going to be cooking with butter. And as you see here, you see what I got this picture of the camera on? This right here is my baking dish. So I have a square baking dish. As you can see, I've already, buttered it and greased it up a little bit. And then I lightly floured it, okay? You want to do that for anybody, just in case you've never made cake or anything like that. That's going to keep that cake from sticking and things like that. Now, I'll be keeping it in this dish, but still, just in case you wanted to transfer it or anything like that, that's going to help with that. Okay, so let us go ahead and get started, guys. So I'm going to actually go ahead and get started by we're going to go ahead and I have 3 eggs here. All right, you see that? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to take these eggs and I'm going to go ahead and get these eggs broken up in this bowl. All right. Little shell tried to get in there. We're going to move that on out of the way. Okay. And then got the second egg. Once again, I'm still on one-handed action, guys. All right. Y'all pray for my cameraman. One-handed action. All right. And then the third egg. How have you guys been doing? And as I always say, let me know your favorite cake and things like that as well. Okay. I love to learn about everybody and see what your weakness is as far as your sweet tooth and things like that. Okay. So we're just going to take and beat those eggs. Don't need to do a whole lot. Okay. So I'm going to beat those eggs, and this is what I'm going to do, guys. So some people choose to wait and mix that salt and things like that within their flour. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put my little salt, so to just be just a little dash, okay? That's going to bring out the sweetness within the cake. I'm putting that in my butter. All right. The other thing that I'm using as well today, we're going to use some sweet and condensed milk. So I have 1 can. I'm not going to use all of this, but I'm going to use a nice little amount because I'm going to be using some of this for our icing that we're going to be making to also just drizzle a little bit on top of the cake, once it cools and sets up. So a little sweet and condensed milk. I'm going to put about half a can. Okay, so half the can there. All right. And then even though I have my old mixer there, right? Oldie but goodie. I'm mixing that in. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's see here, this butter. Okay. And this butter, we're not going to be beating that with the hand. All right. So for the butter, I'm going to use that little handy dandy mixer we got. Okay. And we're going to start this on low. All right. Just one moment here. Let me get everything out of the way. Right. I don't want to be making any bloopers. I apologize for that, guys. All right. So we're just going to mix it on low. Okay, get that all incorporated. So I'm not going to be using any oil, so that's why I have the 2 sticks of butter. Just a little less, maybe I took about a tablespoon out just basically to line the pan. All right. So that's mixed pretty good. Okay. And I can let that set there just for a moment. Okay. All right, guys, you see that there? Now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and add our sugar. Now for the sugar here, I'm going to be adding roughly around about, since I have the sweetened condensed milk, I'm just going to do 2 cups of sugar. Okay. 1. Right at roughly around 2 cups. 2. And that's maybe 1.5, so maybe another little. All right. 2 cups of sugar. And then I also have here, I'm going to just be placing just a little, about a teaspoon, maybe tablespoon of baking powder. Okay, guys? So we've added our sweetened condensed milk. We have our sugar. We have our baking powder. We have our salt. And we have our butter. All right. The other thing that I'm going to do, right? So I'm going to give that a little whip. And then we'll go ahead and start incorporating our flour. Okay, see that there? Turn it up just a little bit. All right, so we got that. This is very, very easy. It won't take long at all. Okay, and now we're going to head and we're going to get our flour. I'm using all-purpose flour, and I'm going to also put around about 2.5 cups of the all-purpose flour. Okay. Now the thing with this flour, you're going to be using also a little flour for that crumble topping, and I'll show you guys that as well, so no worries. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and start mixing that. And make sure you got this on low because you don't want to make a mess. So remember, I saved some of that sweetened condensed milk. Part of it was saved is because, like I said, I'm going ahead and putting this in, but I'm also going to be adding some more. I wanted to I start out with some and then I add a little bit more once I get the flour and everything in. But I'm saving just a little for icing. Okay? All right, that's looking wonderful. It's thick, like you want it. When I tell you this cake is so good, guys, I mean, it's absolutely amazing, okay? All right, so put that to the side, okay? Add just a little bit more. 1/4 of that sweetened condensed milk. Great, great, great. All right, and then I'm also going to be adding vanilla, okay? And I'm adding around about a tablespoon of vanilla, okay? Even though there is, we got the sweetened condensed milk, and that has a lot of flavoring in it, but I'm also adding a little vanilla as well. awesome, 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 awesome. All right, guys. Now I am actually going to add one more small treat to this that a lot of people are not used to doing. All right. So I'm going to go in the fridge here, and I use this trick. Okay. You see, we got some ribs and things like that. But I use this trick here for, say, my cornbread and things of that nature. I do use this at times for my cornbread. And for, if I'm making hush puppies, a lot of people don't know about this. So I'm going to also be adding, it's going to help also with the moisture of the cake. I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of mayo. Okay. So, trust me, this is a little ingredient I'm sharing with you. It will take and it would elevate your cornbread. If you've never made homemade cornbread, it will take it to another level. Okay. It's going to help it not just be fluffy, but the moisture. It's going to be making moist. You're not going to taste the mayo flavor. Just think about it, that mayo is made of primarily, eggs and oil, right? So that's basically what you're getting. You're getting a little bit more eggs incorporated from the mayo, and then just some oil, and it's going to keep it nice and moist. See how that looks? All right. I'm going to get a nice final whip. All right. We want it sort of thick like that. All right. Let me tell you, this mixer, this is actually one of my mom's old mixers. These seasoned folks, you get what I'm saying? They keep a lot of those old products. Child, they're going to keep it around, right? Now, I have a lot of the modern, newer things, but yeah, so it still works and it's doing really, really fine. So we're going to work with it, all right? The other thing, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pour half of this mixture into my dish. Okay. So I'm pouring half of it in. You see that? All right. And now that I got half of that in, the other thing that I'm going to do, now I also have here, some brown sugar. I'm going to take, and it's roughly about a cup of brown sugar. I'm going to sprinkle this brown sugar right here so it can be in the middle of the cake. Okay. So yes, this cake is sweet. Just like me. Ha 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 ha. All right. Along with that brown sugar, I have some cinnamon. We're going to douse quite a bit of cinnamon all up through the middle. Okay. All right. I got a little nutmeg. We're not going to use much, but I'm going to also douse just a little nutmeg. Okay. And then I have a little cloves. Now, a lot of people don't do this part here, but I have learned to, with my, these type of cakes, right? That the cloves, it just does something really, really special to the cake as far as bringing out flavor. So I'm not going to be using lemon or anything like that today, but even if I was taking and I was making this and where I was using lemon, normally I would put just a little lemon squeeze, and you could still choose to do that. put that in the batter. And then I use a little lemon squeeze as far as on my crumble mix as well, to get that flavor, or in my icing, I should say. I'm not going to be using lemon today, but these cloves is going to take it to the next level. Okay, so you just want a little, because with cloves, a little goes a whole lot. Then I also took, and I have roughly about, I would say maybe 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter that I'm just going to drizzle all over that. Okay, so the melted butter is drizzled, and then I'm going to take with my fork, I'm going to take and slightly incorporate that with my fork. And that's going to give us just a slight little design in the middle of that layer. All right. All right. Okay, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to top the rest with the batter. We'll make sure I get all my batter out of here. Just hold just one moment. All right. And I'm tasting that batter. Always taste your product, okay? While you're going through, you want to taste it for flavor, things of that nature, but always, always taste your product, okay? So since I'm doing one-handed action, I'm just gathering up that batter. All right. Pouring the rest of that batter over the cake. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to use my spoon to sort of help that batter out a little bit. Okay. Just to smooth it on over. All right. Got a little bit more in here. All right. And now, all right, so that's how that looks at this point here. All right, guys. So now the next thing is I have a little bit more brown sugar. So as I stated, we're going to take with this brown sugar here, we're going to take and we're going to put a little flour. Okay. All right. And you can choose to incorporate the butter in here if you want, right? You could choose to do that. Okay. That's how you make your crumbles. I'm just trying to so now I'm going to just put some of that over. Like I said, I had a sweet tooth. All right. But this is going to be so good, y'all. You hear me? It's going to be so good. Okay. And then we're just going to sprinkle just a little bit more cinnamon over the top. Okay. You could choose to do that if you like. I don't necessarily always do that. Okay, but I'm just doing that for you guys today, just in case. And here's the wonderful thing about this type of cake, right? It's really good at any time of the day. This is not just, some people use this as far as a breakfast cake, right? So this is more than just a breakfast cake. You know, if you like to drink, if you're a tea drinker or just, you know, a coffee drinker, needless to say, this is really, really good. Sometimes I incorporate some coffee in, or either I incorporate coffee on the top. I'm just cleaning as I'm talking to you guys. I incorporate a little coffee on the top where the crumbles and things like that is. Now, I'm not going to necessarily do that today, but that is a really, really good flavor as well. Or you can put a little coffee. You can take some instant coffee, and you can take and put that instant coffee within your batter. So that's good as well. Now, I have a cookie sheet because I don't want any spills or anything like that. I'm going to set this on my cookie sheet. I preheated the oven. I'm going to come over here. I preheated the oven to 375, and I'm just going to open this oven. I'm doing this like this, guys, because once again, we got one-handed action, okay? So now I'm just going to take this. All right. And I have all of this goodness, and we're going to put it in the oven. And when I come back, guys, I will be showing you how to drizzle and make your sweet and condensed milk. And then I will be eating some amazing coffee cake. All right. And we'll also drink some tea. Bon appetit.